It's a complicated concept, personality disorder, but to explain the basic root of it, I'd like to refer to one of Dr. Kernberg's original works, which was called Internal World and External Reality. We all go through life with internal images of ourselves and others. These are things that we're not fully conscious of, but that determine, to some extent, how we experience ourselves and how we experience the people we encounter in our lives. And people with personality disorders have exaggerated and somewhat unrealistic internal images of self and other. So when they encounter a person or are in a relationship with a person, the internal image is activated and can distort their perception and lead to great misunderstanding, great unhappiness, and lots of conflict and distress. We feel that these internal images that determine the sense of self and other are at the root of personality disorder and need to be examined so that we change not only the symptoms, which are very important to change, but the basic sense of who one is in the world. And the way we do that is by creating a treatment situation where the person comes to us regularly in a setting in which we are committed to helping them, but remain somewhat neutral in our communication. And this allows for the unfolding and the manifestation of their internal images in their experience with us. So we begin to live out with them the world that they have in their own mind, and our job is to help them take an observing distance, to join us in looking at this together, and we try to help them then adjust those parts of their mind so that they have a more successful adaptation and a better perception, a more accurate way of reading who they are and how they interact with others. And ultimately, as I said, this leads not just to symptom change, but to a change in the subjective experience as one goes through life. And we find it very satisfying to help someone at that level. Levels of training. If somebody wants to get the concepts, they might read our books and attend a seminar, but to really be able to do the therapy requires a more intensive training, and that consists of a series of workshops that are carried out either on a weekly basis if the person lives in a place where we provide one of those seminars, or they come to a place like Barcelona where there are intensive weekends and we meet for 2 or 3 days and go over a lot of material. Then we let 6 months go by so the person can internalize and think about and read and begin to apply what they've learned. Then we have another intensive 3-day workshop, 2 or 3 day workshop, at which point the person begins to take on cases which they need to have supervision of from one of our teachers. And then the person has to treat one case under supervision for 2 years, since it's usually a treatment that takes that long and often longer. And after that experience, they can apply for an examination where we evaluate in an oral examination with clinical material if they have learned the system. And one of the reasons we do it this way is because the ideas are interesting in and of themselves. But I want to emphasize that to do the therapy, one has to be engaged in it, so it really affects you. It's an experience that you go through as well as the patient. And since your own emotions are sort of activated in the course of the work, you need the outside supervision to help you understand what's going on. Because we all get a little confused when emotions get activated, and it can interfere with the clarity of our thinking. But this is necessary. One of the ways we differ from a more traditional therapeutic approach is to believe very strongly that change does not come just through getting ideas communicated, but change happens when ideas and emotions combine and are experienced at the same time.